We're just doing introductions. That's all. So thank you, Miguel, for joining us today. We have some students here. I see Hans. You want to say hello, Hans?
Good afternoon, everyone. How y'all doing?
Good, good. Is there any way you can speak more into your mic? We can't hear you very well.
Oh, good afternoon. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, a lot better. Thank you,
All
thank
right.
you.
I just got to speak
And
up.
do we have Leslie? Is she here?
Yeah, hello guys.
All right, welcome, Leslie.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we're gonna get this party started. We got Peaches or Miss Crenshaw. I'm not sure how you want me to introduce you. And she's going to go ahead and do this wonderful presentation. And then after that, we'll get right into it. All right, Peaches.
Good evening once again, guys. My name is Peaches Crenshaw. I'm a coach coordinator at Eleanor Roosevelt High School. Go Raiders. And I'm so excited to be here with my colleagues, Mr. Obat and Mr. Bueso and Mr. Adams, to share some more information with you about the dual enrollment program at Prince George's Community College. And we're also excited to have Hans and Leslie join us as well. So we're going to just do a quick presentation on how to make the most of dual enrollment, and then we'll take some more questions from you after this. So we kind of wanted to start out with this to give you sort of some pointers for how to really make the most of dual enrollment. We know that for many of you, this is a new thing, and taking college courses at the same time as high school courses can be challenging, but it can also be very rewarding. So you heard already what the dual enrollment program was about in the main session. These are some of the benefits listed here. You get to save time, save money, choose from a bunch of different courses, and gain college experience and exposure. Next slide. So these are just some tips for getting ready for the dual enrollment season. Be sure to submit your application on time. Those deadlines are real, so we don't want anybody to miss it if you're truly interested in participating in this program. So once the application opens on November 9th, you will have about 2 weeks to submit it by November 25th. So make sure you submit it on time so that you get it done and you're not worrying about um, other things that come along with that. So make sure you do that in a timely fashion. Meet with your coach coordinator, talk with your counselor, talk with your parents about your course options. As you heard, there's a 2 course limit. So if you're not sure what to take, or you're thinking about some courses, or you're wondering, what does PGCC have to offer? So get with your coach coordinator and your counselor as soon as possible to talk about your course options so that you know what you want to take. Especially since it's a 2 course limit, you want to be able to choose them very carefully. And also, if you're thinking of taking some courses in dual credit, for high school credit as well, you want to also involve your counselor in that process to make sure that you're taking what you need to graduate. Also, talk with current dual enrollment students or past dual enrollment students. So we have Leslie and Hans who will share their experiences with you this evening. No better way to find out more about dual enrollment than the people that went through it, right? So we hope that what they have to share tonight will also be helpful. Next slide. Okay, so this is one of the biggest things. College is very different from high school, as Hans and Leslie will share with you. It's very different in college than it is in high school. You are expected to be a young adult when you're in college. Your professors are not going to go after you about your work. They are going to expect you to be independent and to reach out to them if you are having any issues or have any questions about your college courses. So it is very different. Whereas in high school, your counselors and your parents and your teachers are, following up with you. Your professors may not do that as much. So you have to have a really high level of responsibility when you're taking college courses. It's all about balance, okay? All about balance, meaning not only the amount of classes that you're taking, but the type of classes that you're taking, and consider that as well, in regards to what you are taking in high school. You don't want to overwhelm yourself. Okay, so this is not a competition. This is not a competition at all. This is an opportunity. And we want you all to keep that in mind as you're going through this process. Seek help from your course coordinator, your counselor, and even other dual enrollment students. As you go through your classes, you may find that it gets a little challenging as you're going through it. Please don't wait to the last minute to talk with your professor or talk with your course coordinator or your counselor about the challenges you may be having in your courses. We are here to help. We have resources both at the college and at your school, I'm sure, that can help you get through your courses. Next slide. So that's pretty much how we wanted to start out. So now we're going to move into the questions. Mr. Obot, can you explain the format of how we're going to do the questions this evening?
Thank you so much, Ms. Crenshaw. I appreciate your slide. Thank you so much for sharing that. Sharing that great information. So yeah, we're gonna have more of a round robin. So we have a couple questions here that myself, Ms. Crenshaw, Mr. Boyso, and then also our lovely Prince George's Community College students are going to participate in the round robin. So I'm going to see who's going to kick it off. I think it's Mr. Boyso. But in the chat, if anyone has any questions or anything as we are talking about different things in regards to dual enrollment, please put it in the chat so we can hear what you have to say. You should be able to raise your hand, or again, if you have a question and you want to speak, just put it in that chat so we can make sure that we hear what you have to say. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to see. Give me 1 second. I got to figure out how to minimize my screen here. Do you know who's first, Mrs. Crenshaw?
Yes, me.
Oh, okay. So go
So
ahead.
so when I ask this question, this is for the audience, correct?
Yes,
Our
ma'am.
attendees. Okay. So, all right, guys. So I'm going to start it off with the questions. We're going to continue on. So the first question is, what questions do you have, or additional questions do you have pertaining to dual enrollment? Who is eligible and how the program works? So if you have any other questions about dual enrollment overall, the eligibility requirements, or how it works in terms of the courses that you take and how that goes with your high school schedule. If anybody has a question about that, please put it in the chat, or if you are brave enough to unmute yourself and speak, we gladly welcome that as well.
Oh,
So like we have Bernice that had the first question, so I'm gonna go ahead and unmute her.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
good evening.
Turn your sound off. I'm sorry, I'm sitting here with my son and our microphones are clashing. Here we go. So I have a question about taking a dual enrollment course in the summer versus the spring, because my son is in 4 AP classes right now, so I don't want to overload his schedule in the spring, but I do want him to experience this opportunity. So I'm just wondering how, if you're taking a class in the summer, how would that transfer back over to meet a high school requirement, because there are no GPAs over the summer and things like that. So that's my question.
Great question. Thank you so much. So as long
Oh, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry.
Peaches.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me now? Okay. Maybe I'm having some tech issues.
Oh, no, it was me.
Okay.
My apologies.
So no, it's okay. So for courses that are in the summer, they still count for college credit. And if it's a dual credit course for high school and college credit, it still counts. The only time that a dual credit does not count is in the second semester of the senior year, which is when the courses will only count for college credit. So it would still count into the high school as well as the college GPA. And for the high school, it would be the weighted GPA. So even in the summer, the course credits still count. Not all of our courses are dual credit, but we do have some. So for those that do count for dual credit, it will appear on the student's high school transcript and be counted into the weighted GPA. Does that answer your question?
I believe so. If so, you can pick a course that isn't a dual credit course and that's still covered through the program.
That is correct, ma'am.
Okay, wonderful. And so it wouldn't necessarily satisfy a high school requirement, but it could still count towards college credit, provided you pass that course.
Absolutely. Everything that the students are taking is for college credit. It's just a specific select group of courses that count for both high school and college credit, but everything is college credit.
And to your knowledge, will PGCPS still cover the cost of the course if it doesn't count towards the high school?
Yes, it
Okay.
does not matter. So any student that is eligible and takes the courses, everybody will have tuition covered. Students that receive free and reduced price meals will have their courses in addition to the fees and their textbooks covered.
Okay, and I don't want to go too deep in because I don't want to take everyone's time up. I can follow up. I think my son is at Suitland High School, so we can follow with our Luke, I believe,
Yes, Mr.
and
Luke,
try to identify course options.
absolutely. Yep,
Wonderful. Thank you.
you are so welcome.
Thank you so much, Ms. Reeves.
Thank you. No problem.
All right, so our second question is going to be coming from Mr. Broiso. Mr. Broiso, are you here with us? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and ask the question until Mr. Broiso can join us here. So how does dual enroll work? So today in our presentation, we were speaking about the new dual enroll platform. So dual enroll is the new system that we're using of how students can register for their dual enrollment courses. In the past, we had to do everything paper. So everything, we had a long, about week and a half process, possibly 2 weeks. We had to look at all the applications and do this long, again, 2 week breakdown of who's eligible and who's not and what courses people can take. Now, all of that is through a software called Dual Enroll. So your student will get an email from the Dual Enroll software. They'll be able to register on the platform. And then through that platform, they're able to choose their courses. I see that Miguel is unmuted. Miguel, are you able to speak more about that?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you, Mr. Braso.
Oh, fabulous. So what are we
Sorry,
discussing?
I just asked your question in regards to dual enroll. I didn't know if you wanted to expound on it. I was just explaining to the group here, just kind of the preliminary in regards to dual enroll, but I didn't know if you wanted to expound a little bit more on the dual enroll platform.
Well, the dual enroll platform, let me mute myself here. I'm sorry, I'm having technical difficulties here. Let me pass for now.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Mr. Braso. So again, with the dual enroll platform, students are able to register online. They'll get the information to do that. They'll register online. They'll be able to pick their courses online. Once they pick their courses, it usually goes to their course coordinator if they're at a school with a course coordinator. If not, then their dual enrollment representative. And then after that, it goes to their, oh, we have a question here. So Donovan, give me 1 second. I'll be right with your question. Then after it goes to the coach coordinator, it usually goes to your professional school counselor. Once that gets done, then the application, as it's going through the different processes, the students can see the different steps that the application is on. There also is a parent consent form, so that needs to be completed. And some students need their transcripts uploaded as well. Some students that are taking the SAT or using their SAT or ACT scores, that has to be uploaded in the system. All of that is going to be through your professional school counselor. Once it shows complete on their end, that means they're completed in regards to completing all the different steps in dual enroll. But as we were saying in the presentation earlier today, they have to make sure that when they create the OutLink account, that they sign into the OutLink account and make sure that the courses are registered and paid for. That is very vital because it can show completed on dual enroll, but if the classes are not paid for, then those classes still can be dropped, all right? If any student that is farm student, so that's a free and reduced lunch student, their tuition, their fees, and their books are 100% covered. And that form would already have to be on file through Prince George's County Public Schools. That's more of a central office document. But if a student is not a farm student, then the tuition is still covered 100%, but then the fees and books, the textbooks, that's where you'll see a bill for your class. Let me just go ahead and get to these questions real quick. Oh, I think okay. Ms. Crenshaw has already responded to Donovan. Thank you so much. And we have a question from Ms. Helen Fuentes. And her question is, where can we find the courses that were eligible? Oh, okay. Thank you, Ms. Crenshaw. She's gone ahead and answered the questions. Appreciate you, Ms. Crenshaw, very much. All right, so I'm sorry, does anyone have any questions?
Can I talk a little bit on that, O2?
Yep, yes, please.
So for the different courses that you're eligible for, keep in mind that we do have a new document, which is the recommended courses by areas of interest, as was discussed during the general interest session. So please make sure you're checking out that document and kind of evaluating what kind of area you may be interested in pursuing, maybe a career or going into as you're pursuing your higher education dreams, so that you can start kind of getting a jump start on that and kind of seeing if that's something that really truly interests you. So that's going to be located at the bottom of the page that Ms. Crenshaw has shared.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adams. I appreciate that. And okay, anyone else has any questions about dual enroll before we continue? Okay, we'll go on to our next question here. So our next question is, how do I get in contact with my course coordinator or dual enrollment representative to choose my courses at Prince George's Community College? So, sorry, Mr. Brazo, I do see you unmuted. Did you want to have answer that question, or are you not ready to speak yet? Okay, when you're ready, Mr. Brazo, if you can just put it in the chat, then I know when you're ready to go. All right. So, how you're able to reach out to your coach coordinator is a couple ways. So if you're at there's 21 public schools, and then there's another 8 or 9 charter and different schools in the county. So we're at 18 of the 21 public high schools, coach coordinators. So the best way to do it is if you're at one of those schools, and if you don't know, you can tell me, or you could tell us in the chat and we'll let you know if there's a coach coordinator at your school. You have probably already reached out to your coach coordinator, or they have already reached out to you via email. Some coach coordinators use Google Classroom. You can also ask your professional school counselor, who is the coach coordinator at your respective high school. If you attend a high school that does not have a coach coordinator, then we have what we call dual enrollment representatives. Just like a coach coordinator, they're just located at different high schools that do not have a coach coordinator there. Mr. Adams, did you want to speak a little bit more about how they would contact the dual enrollment representative?
Yes. Oops, sorry. Yes. So they can contact the dual enrollment representative by going to the high school webpage at www.pgcc.edu/go/high school. At the bottom, it has a section where you can have a contact us link. And by using that form and selecting your school, it actually routes it to the dual enrollment representative for you. So if your school doesn't have a coach coordinator, it will route it to the PGCC dual enrollment representative. Or if you do it and the school does have a coach coordinator, it'll route it to that representative as well.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adams. Well, this is the best part here because we have some amazing students here that are going to answer some questions here. So we have Hans and Leslie. This is a question for you to speak to the crowd today. So what is one thing about dual enrollment you wish you knew earlier? That's both for Hans and Leslie.
For me in particular, I never really realized, because if you're a dual enrollment student, you're a college student, and I never really put into perspective. I don't know if severity is the correct word, but like it didn't really hit until probably the second class I took. Like I'm actually a full-fledged college student, like at a college campus, and it was just really crazy because once you're there, well, I had opportunity to be on campus because of what's happening. You really can't be on campus, but like you're officially like a college student. You're treated as a college student, so it's definitely an for me at least, it was a great experience because I'm not saying that the teachers that I had at my high school treat us like children, because I did enrollment when I was like, I think the summer of my sophomore year, junior, senior year. So like we're pretty much young adults, but like the maturity level expectation with a college professor versus a high school teacher is much different. And I'm very like I like to believe I'm much more mature for my own age. So like it was kind of nice having that type of like mutual respect between my professor and me as student. So it's really great, like being a college student. Honestly, that's all I can say. Like you're a college student while you're taking high school class at the same time. It's an amazing experience.
Thank you so much, Hans. Leslie, did you want to share anything?
Yeah, so adding on to what he said, it really does give you that like college experience. Professors are way different than high school teachers because as Miss I forgot her name, I'm sorry. As Miss Crenshaw, I think
Yeah.
mentioned, in high school, your teachers pressure you to come to class, do your work. It's not like that in college at all. You're your own person, and especially now since it's virtual, you really have to be on top of everything, manage your time really well. One thing I did wish I knew before taking the course is the benefits it actually brings you. You do get college credits, and they go towards whatever it is you're striving to major in. And I took a summer course, so it really helped me out, and I don't regret it at all. So yeah.
I just want to touch on what Leslie just said about the college credit. Like one of like the best things about new enrollment is that you get to take college credit classes earlier than you would have once you start college and you're in high school. So the way I set, and it's like Durham is wonderful on its own, but it's even more effective if you know what major you want to do at a young age, or like the sooner you know what your major is, the better, like the most efficient dual enrollment is for you. So I'm a business major, right? And before I knew I wanted to go into business, I wanted to be a psychology major. Luckily, the classes that I took were all prerequisite classes, and I got that out of the way super early on. So hopefully, if I take summer classes, I didn't take summer classes this summer because I wanted to like relax. I took the enrollment every single time I had a chance to. Hopefully, if I things work out, I'll be able to get my associate's degree in 1 year instead of 2 years. So that's another great thing that I didn't realize about dual enrollment early on, that like I can get all these credits early on, shave my college years down for, and Durham is free, so you have a great opportunity to take college credits for free. And if you plan it out correctly, you can, you know, shave off a semester, a year, you know, if you go crazy, maybe like a year and a half down if you plan everything correctly. So that's another great thing I did not know earlier.
Thank you so much, Hans. Thank you so much, Leslie. Let's see if we have any questions. I know Mrs. Crenshaw is over there in the chat responding to some questions. Okay. All right. We're going to keep on moving here. So this is for Miss Crenshaw. So Miss Crenshaw, what is the application time frame?
So, Mr. Obot, if you don't mind, just in the interest of time, I want to put questions 5 and 9 together.
Yes, ma'am.
So the application time frame is November 9th through November 25th. So as I stated earlier, please make sure you apply on time and early so that you can get that in and ready to go before Thanksgiving and all that good stuff, okay? So please make sure you talk to your counselor and your course coordinator about your courses so that by the time the application opens, you know what you want to take and you can just apply and get moving with that part, okay? Students must apply by November 25th. This is very important. Applications will not be accepted after that date, all right? So please keep that in mind. And then students who make the November 25th deadline will have until December 11th to make course changes. So that's why I said start early so that you don't have to worry about rushing toward the end there. So as I stated earlier, college is different, and just going to touch real quick on some ways that you can communicate with your professors. So at PGCC, the professors typically prefer that students communicate with them via their PGCC email. And students also use the platform called Blackboard. So those are the two main ways to connect with your professors if you're having any issues or if you have questions about your assignments and things of that nature. So it's very important to keep up with your professors. If you find that you're falling behind or you're getting overwhelmed, do not wait to contact them. Like I said before, keep in contact with them. And if something does happen, because we do know life happens and emergencies come up, if something happens and it's an emergency, get in touch with your professor right away. They will be more inclined to help you if they know what's going on with you up front, okay? And I'm sure Leslie and Hans can speak to that as well, okay?
Thank you so much, Ms. Crenshaw. I had a good question here from Donovan, one of our members here in the breakout session. And he had a great question. He asked if he wants to take summer classes, does he apply now? So just keep this in mind that this is going to be for the spring semester, this application cycle. So that November 9th to November 25th, that is for the spring semester. When you want to do summer and fall classes, that's going to be the next dual enrollment cycle, which probably will be sometime between February and March of 2021. So your summer and your fall semester is actually all in one dual enrollment cycle, and then your spring semester is in another dual enrollment cycle. Let's see here. Okay, we got some more questions here. Okay. Oh, let's see here. Oh, that's from Hans. Sorry. Thank you, Hans. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right. So, Mr. Braso, we got you up and running.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, okay, man. We hear you loud and clear. Okay, I'm gonna give you the next question. Okay. Okay. Let's see. This is for Mr. Braso. So, how do I meet my course coordinator early to discuss course options? Oh, Mr. Brazo, oh, you gotta unmute. Thank you.
Yep. You want to make sure that you contact your coast coordinator as soon as possible. The ideal is that you have decided on your classes prior to November 9th. So find out who your coast coordinator is and send them an email. All of us have automatic replies that you will get back as soon as you send your email. I know I do, and many others have a link for you to make a 20-minute appointment so that we could give you one-on-one attention regarding your situation. So you're all going to have different choices to make from each other, and we're here to help to set you on the right path.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brazo. I appreciate you. Okay, I'm looking at the time here. We got about 15 more minutes here. Again, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to raise your hand so we can get to you. All right, the next question is, how do I talk with current dual enrollment students about their experiences? Well, we again have amazing dual enrollment students here, previous dual enrollment students here with Leslie and Hans. But to answer that question, the best way to do it, again, is to talk to your coach coordinator and or your professional school counselor, because if your professional school counselor has had great relationships with some of the students that they've worked with in the past, if they knew that they were part of the dual enrollment program, that'd be a good way to reach out to them. Also, your coach coordinator is able to actually reach out to some representatives at the college to figure out who graduated from where and who may be able to come back and talk to a group of students. Sometimes our coach coordinators have already set that up as well as one of their events that they may have at their respective high school. I know Hans graduated from Roosevelt, and Leslie, she graduated from Parkdale. So here are two great students that if they're able to, come back and speak, they probably will. I think they will definitely share some great wisdom for some upcoming dual enrollment students. So with that said, I'm actually going to have them answer another question. So this question is for Leslie and Hans, all right? So for Leslie and Hans, so Leslie, you could answer first this time. What is one technique for students to be successful in their dual enrollment courses?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I actually graduated from Duval, just putting it out there. It's okay though. So I think the best technique you can have, honestly, is time management. It's definitely one that you can use to be successful anywhere, whether it's a job, dual enrollment, school, right now in high school, I'm pretty sure, and definitely in college. As I mentioned, your professors are not going to be on top of you to attend class. It's going to be all on you. And like I said, it depends if you want to take the course during the summer or if you prefer to take it during the fall. Personally, I took it during the summer because during the fall, I think one parent or student mentioned that their son takes AP courses. They don't want to overwhelm themselves, which is completely understandable. I did sports, and so I had practice every day after school. I wouldn't have had time for another course, especially a college level course. So I decided to wait till summer, and I managed my time perfectly. I had time for me to have fun, enjoy my summer, but I also had time to just focus on my class that I took, and it worked out perfectly well. I passed with an A, and I got my 3 credits for my English 1010, which is what I took. So yeah, time management, it's a big thing.
Thank you. Hans, what about you?
Time management is a great skill. I would say communication is also a great skill you need to have, especially when you're in college, because I'm not gonna lie, I need to work better on my time management skills. It's definitely something that everyone needs to work on, like throughout their entire lives, and you can only get better at it. But my communication skills luckily have saved me from my lack of time management skills. Like, just be like, your teachers are people. Your teachers and professors are people too. You know, they understand life happens, and again, with everything that's going on, life happens a lot. So honestly, just communicate with your teachers, build a relationship with your teachers, build a relationship with like your peers. Like, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Like, this is college and you're a college student at the moment, and it's much better to form relationships while in high school, because if you decide to go to PG after high school, you know, you already have relationships there. So you'll just be able to have that much support going in if you decide to go to PG. So I definitely think communication is a wonderful skill for you guys to have.
Thank you so much, Hans. Thank you so much, Leslie. I appreciate you. So it's about 7:42 here. We're probably just going to ask one more round of questions, and then we have a great evaluation here for all of you to make sure you fill out, okay? So this will be our last round of questions here. Um, so, Mrs. Crenshaw, how would you connect with your virtual class?
Okay, guys, so I'm gonna combine my two questions again because they go together. So at PGCC, we have a platform called Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. And so since we're in this remote and online posture, that is how students will meet with their class if it's a remote class. So we have a couple different types. We have remote classes, which have specific times. And so if you have a class that's say from Monday and Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., then students will be expected to log into the Blackboard Collaborate platform to quote unquote meet with the class, okay? So that's how that works for meeting in your remote classes. If it's an online class with no specific times, you can still use the Blackboard platform to keep up with your assignments and connect with your professors. And so, like I said, as far as virtual, we're not sure if there are going to be some in person just yet. We're still learning what that's going to look like for the spring. We have had some hybrid classes in the past where that means it was face to face and online combination, but we're still waiting to get the official word. But we know for sure there will be remote with specific times, and then there will be online classes with no specific times.
Thank you so much, Ms. Crenshaw. Mr. Boyso, we have a two-part question here for you. All right?
All right.
Okay, let's see here. So the first part of the question is, what does the term articulation agreement mean? And then the second part of that question is, will my Prince George's Community College credits be accepted by all colleges and universities?
I'm sorry, O2. I accidentally muted you.
Oh, no problem. Which part did you not hear?
All of it.
Okay. Right. So the first part of that question is, what does the term articulation agreement mean? And then the second part of that question is, will all of my Prince George's Community College credits transfer to all colleges and universities?
Gotcha. Okay, the articulation agreement refers to when schools have a agreement to accept each other's classes on a given subject, like English, 1010 or English 101. All the schools in the Maryland college, system, have that agreement. I believe there's 11 colleges. Maryland University is one of them. So if you're wondering if a credit is going to, if a class is going to transfer to Maryland, then you don't have to wonder about that because it will. And as far as will any college or university take the credits from our school or any other school, that is actually up to the school that you're planning to transfer to. So you will need to contact that school and ask them where to send your transcript so that they can consider whether or not they'll accept the credits from here or from anywhere else.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. All right, so my last question here for the team, for the group, I'm sorry, is what are my expenses in regards to my dual enrollment courses? Great question, because as I was sharing earlier, if you're a farm student, which is a free and reduced lunch student, which is a form that has already been filled out through the Prince George's County Public School District in their central office, then everything is covered. There's no payment from you. That means your tuition is covered, your books are covered, your fees are covered. You're pretty much going to school for free, which is a great opportunity. Now, for students that are not farms, it's still an amazing opportunity because your tuition is 100% covered. The only thing you have to pay for are the fees, which are roughly anywhere between around $169, roughly. Fees can change depending on what courses you take, but your course coordinator or dual enrollment representative will be able to assist you. And then your textbooks. Now, there's all different ways that students get their textbooks. Sometimes students borrow textbooks from other friends. Sometimes students get textbooks from Amazon. Sometimes students rent textbooks. Sometimes students get used textbooks. Sometimes students buy new textbooks. It's really up to what you want to do. The bookstore, of course, has textbooks. Barnes and Nobles have textbooks. So there's all different ways that you can purchase your textbooks. But again, your dual enrollment course coordinator will be able to assist you, also your dual enrollment representative. This is a great opportunity, so do not let finances stop you from participating in this phenomenal opportunity that you have as a high school student. I have one more question for the young people that we have on here, and then we have an evaluation for you all. And then you'll be all free to go. So again, thank you so much for sticking on with us. The last question for the students here I'm sorry, because you took dual enrollment, you participated in the dual enrollment program, how do you see that benefiting you as you go through your college career here at Prince George's Community College? And then do you also plan on continuing college, or do you plan on getting your 2-year degree here, your associate's degree, and then find a job? Hans?
Like I said before, like because of dual enrollment, I'm able to possibly graduate a year in advance compared to people that, because I'm class of 2020. So because of dual enrollment of all the credits that I had, I was actually a semester ahead. And if the classes for my major is available during the summer, I'll be able to transfer as a junior to Towson instead 1 year earlier than I would have if I didn't do dual enrollment. So it's definitely beneficial if you want to, you know, accelerate your college life at such a cheap alternative to actual college. Like even if you decide to go to PT, community college is definitely great because it's cheaper than a full institution, but even cheaper than that is dual enrollment, you know, so that's definitely beneficial. And it's also great. I'm more of an advocate for dual enrollment rather than AP solely because you can take the AP class, pass or fail, but she needs to pass the actual AP exam with a certain level, and not all colleges agree on the same AP score. Like one college can, like AP Bio, one college can accept a 3, but some colleges must accept a 4. While as you take the enrollment at PG, you pass the class, you have the credit. There's no just anything. You had the credit, you pass the class. You don't have to take it at college.
Thank you, Hans. Leslie,
Did you want to answer the question first, or did you want me to just,
say it again.
somebody has, did you want to answer the question first on the chat, or did you want me to just,
Oh,
there's, yeah.
no, I thought I have Miss Crenshaw there. Yeah, Miss
Oh,
Crenshaw's
okay,
there.
okay.
Yep.
So like he said, it really does give you a jump start to your, your courses in college, I'm sorry. You do start already getting your prerequisites out the way, really depending on the major you want to do. As of now, I, like he said, I'm ahead so far with my English courses because that's what I decided to take during high school. And my major is nursing, so as of now I'm trying to get my prerequisites out the way, planning to have those 2 years in PG and then hopefully transfer to get my BSN and further my education. But it definitely did give me like a head start with the whole college life, how it is with classes and professors, and also benefited me with the Promise Scholarship because I know that's a thing at PG. The Promise Scholarship, it basically covers my college tuition, and being in dual enrollment, if you pass the course, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, it definitely benefits you if you do attend PGCC, and there are more people to help you out with there and like the process of that. But that was probably the biggest thing, was getting that Promise Scholarship. So yeah.
That's awesome, Leslie. That's great. Congratulations on that. So yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. I'm definitely gonna see if my colleagues want to just say some last words, and then I'm gonna post up an evaluation bit.ly that you can go ahead and log into and complete that. Okay. So if Mr. Braso or Mr. Crenshaw, if you want to just say some lasting words to the team here.
Well, I'd like to follow up with the comments that were just made about benefits if you take dual enrollment classes. We have a program called Dual to Degree, which you can get up to 50% off from your tuition while you're at Prince George's Community College, as long as you sustain a full-time status, merely by having completed one dual enrollment class. So that one dual enrollment class that you could save, $500 roughly, could also save you a few $1,000 over the course of your degree at Prince George's Community College.
Ms. Crenshaw, did you want to say the last words?
Just want to thank everybody for coming out this evening and asking questions and allowing us to have this platform to share some more information about dual enrollment with you. Please check the chat box. I've put the website for the PGCC dual enrollment program, as well as how to get in touch with your course coordinator. And there's other questions in the chat box and answers that you may want to look at to see if you had that same question. We had some responses, and also Leslie and Hans put some tips in the chat box as well. So take a look at that before we conclude for the evening. So thank you all so much.
And again, I thank everyone for coming. We got to give a shout out to Mr. Adams, who was behind the scene, making sure everything was getting done. And our CET technician, thank you again for all your assistance. Thank you for my colleagues, Ms. Crenshaw, Mr. Bueso, our amazing students here, Ms. Leslie Martinez and Mr. Hans. I don't want to mess up your last name, so I'm just going to say Mr. Hans, all right? Because I respect names. Last but not least, we have reminders and evaluations here. So the evaluations are on the bottom. So make sure you go ahead and take a picture of that, just so you can make sure that you fill that out so we can do better next time. And again, we just appreciate y'all for coming to the general session and this breakout session, and we look forward to serving you. All right. You have a blessed one. Have a great day. Mr. Adams. Oh, thank you. Yep, Mr. Adams put it in the chat as well. Mr. Adams, I'm so sorry. Did you want to say anything before we left? Or leave?
No,
Okay.
I'm just going to stop
Thank you.
recording.